The energy before round one with those guys debuting, yeah, it was great. So we had Cam Rayner playing his first game, number one draft pick in the land. We're all very excited to see what he could do. It was great to see his family come along and be a part of that. And it's always special when you see a bloke playing his first game of AFL footy. It's just one of those days you never forget. It doesn't even matter if you don't play all that well, you still remember everything about it.
But he's tight, so he goes short to try and increase the angle. A snap at goal is good, and Rayner, the number one draft pick.
Obviously the other debut was the old man of football, Luke Hodge, putting on a strange looking jumper for the first time after 300 odd games with the Hawks, and that was great too, in the sense that he'd been so good for us over the pre-season, and as it's proven through the years, his coaching of the younger players and the development of them, especially the backline players and our leadership group around him, has been fantastic. So it was seeing him play was like part of a plan that was sort of coming together for our group, and he was great throughout the season.
Lewis Taylor gave it away. Oh, so don't tell me Cameron's going to do it again. What a goal, what a start at his new club. What
a fantastic player he's proven to be for us, and a real crowd favourite at the Gabba. Cheeky, fast, dynamic, explosive player. We're so pleased to get him from Adelaide, and such a pity when he got injured in round 11 and didn't play for the rest of the year. But I guess the positive is that next year he'll be like a recruit for us again at the start. But he had an amazing impact. That was his first game. I think he kicked the first goal of that game, and might have kicked 3, I reckon, for that game. And he was outstanding for us, and we look forward to more from him. Yeah, the first home game of the year against Melbourne was a bit of a frustrating day because we didn't score a goal in the first quarter, and I think we got to somewhere near 42 points behind, and then by the middle of the last quarter we equalled them on the scoreboard, and unfortunately the effort to catch up, I think, caught up with us and we couldn't quite go on with it, and they kicked the last 3 or 4 goals of the game. But I think that sort of set the scene for how we're going to be at the Gabba this year. We're going to be a really competitive team and play to the end, and there's no doubt the fans saw a glimpse of that on that night. And in a way it was just disappointing we started so slowly. It was a bit of a slow start with a bit of a bane of our lives for the first half of the season. That's a prime example of a game that maybe could have gone differently had we started a little better. The tough losses, they're hard to take, but they're probably the games where you do the greatest learning. So what we did in each and every occasion was have a look to see why did it happen, why weren't we composed enough at the end of those games to win them, why did we get so far behind in the first place, how can we do better next time. And that's pretty much the approach has been all year. And the good part about it is that our club hasn't played in many close games for a lot of years now. We've either won well or we've been beaten easily. This year we won well on 5 occasions. We were hard to beat on probably 8 or 9 occasions, and easily half of those games could have gone the other way. They didn't, but we're buoyed by the fact that we're getting closer to those teams, and a lot of them are top 8 teams, so a lot to look forward to. Yeah, Zorks did get a lot of attention this year, probably because he was an All-Australian last year. He's an amazing, influential player. He brings momentum to the team. What he needs is more help, and that's coming. You can see it. Berry, McCluggage, Witherden, Rayner, Bailey, Starcevic, they're all coming, but they're not quite at the level yet where teams will want to tag them, and so they still target Zorks or sometimes Dane Beams. But no, it's a credit to him, to the player who's made himself into. And the good part about Zorks is that despite the fact that in some of those games he got a little bit less of the ball than what he normally gets, his pressure still remained high, and he tackled, he chased, he harassed, so much so that he was the second highest pressure player in the AFL this year, which we place a high value on. To us, that's just every bit as important as how many kicks, marks and handballs you have, and he set the example to our team in that regard, which is fantastic. That he, as our standing captain, could be the leading player in that trademark area of our game.
It's going to be by 56 points. Huge win for the Brisbane Lions. Luke Hodge's first win as a Lion against his old side. 29-129 to 11-7, 73.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise. Look, I must admit, We'd been so close to winning for a few weeks leading into that game. We had the Collingwood loss by 7 points, and then we went down to Melbourne and lost to the Bulldogs by 14. And you know, there were 2 games we could easily have, snuck a win or 2 in. So you start to wonder, me as a coach, us as the players, is it ever going to happen? But we had a great preparation that week leading into the Hawthorn game. The guys were really frustrated after the Bulldogs game. We had a great conversation in the rooms afterwards about, well, what are we going to do to take that next step? And there was a lot of conversation around we have to be more selfless and more team orientated, and not that we were terrible in that area, but we weren't as good as we could be, and that was a huge focus going into that game. In fact, it was the only focus. What could we do to make each other better? And you know, when we look back on the vision of that game, there were so many blocks and screens and people picking each other up off the ground and doing all those little team things that you love in that particular game. And I'm sure that's the reason why we got over the line more than any other reason. We had some good tactics. Obviously, with myself and Luke here, we sort of understand the way Hawthorn play pretty well. But by and large, it's the attitude of the players that gets you over the line, and their hunger to win that day was particularly strong. We actually started reasonably well. I think we might have been in front at half time. And I think that just gave the group some confidence and belief, and then we were able to go on with it. And it ended up being a pretty commanding victory in the end, and one of great excitement. Cam Raider's first win, Hodgie's first win, Charlie's first win. We sang the song with gusto after the game. Yeah, it was just a great day.
As the little one around the corner from Hardwick was trying to find something that wasn't there. Here's an opportunity for Eagles. The right foot banana, he's got it. Eagles has kicked his first goal in footy.
Yeah, well, I wasn't expecting Eagles to hit the scoreboard. And if you watch the kick, it was a helicopter. I don't think he knew which way it was going, but that was our day. You know, we played so well and everything went right for us, and Big Eagles put one through in the last quarter, I think it was, and the crowd went nuts and everybody was excited. And I can remember looking back on some vision of that, just how excited Huey McCluggage was when Big Eagles kicked the game, and he jumped all over him. And no, it was great to see, because he's a really good story of perseverance. To make your debut when you're 27, 28, it's a pretty special effort. And, you know, I think I've said it before. When he first turned up, I didn't think he had any hope of playing AFL football, and he worked so hard to get there that, you know, to see him kick that goal and see that excitement was just a great reward for him, and a great reward for our coaches who've put so much work into it. Yeah, morale's an important thing, and the best morale and belief comes from winning. I mean, we always celebrate the little wins and talk about our improvement on a regular basis, but every now and then, or hopefully as we go forward more often than not, you get that reinforcement of a win. So for our group to play against a great team like Hawthorn, who have been highly successful for the last 10 years, and to get a victory like that, it helps build confidence going into the second half of the year.